This right over here is the brand new RTX 5050, and today we're going to be checking it out, testing its performance, and installing it in my PC. Now supposedly this 8GB graphic card, valued at about $249, is supposed to be comparable to a 4060. But I don't have a 4060 to compare that. But in this case, I'm going to be using my custom pro-tweaked overclocked Lenovo Legion 5i gaming desktop, which has a laptop 4060 paired with a i9 14th gen processor. So if you want to check out the unboxing and review and gaming test of this laptop alone, check out this playlist right over here. It includes all of those videos. But without further ado, let's check out this 5050 and then compare it with my laptop's performance. Let's hit it with the unboxing. Alright, and now it's installation time inside of my Lenovo IdeaCenter Center 5i gaming desktop. You already know it, I've been using this PC for every single video. And if you want to check this PC out, this PC is actually amazing. You know, it comes with an i7, it comes with 3060, and I've done like a couple upgrades in here as well. And you can check out the video right up here. Let's put this 5050 inside of our 3060 gaming PC. Alright, so let's start removing our 3060. So you can see this is the cable right over here. This is the 8-pin, and the 5050 also takes the 8-pin as well. Just like this, the whole 8-pin came out. And the 3060 should be able, you have to unlatch this as well, and then it should slide out just like this. Here we got the dusty little old 3060 out, and here's the 5050, and as you can see how it compares in size. I mean, the 5050 is like what, 25% faster than the 3060. So yeah, here's about it, and same 8-pin as you can see. Now it is perfectly secured. And now it's time to power this thing on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and we have successfully installed our graphic card into our PC. Now it is time for some performance testing and benchmarks. So you already know it, we're booting up Fortnite. We're gonna be going through DX11, DX12, and performance mode. So let's jump into it and let's see. And for our settings, you can see we're going to test out performance mode first, and we got our epic view distance, low texture, low meshes, and reflex on plus boost. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and we're finally loaded into our game. As you can see, we're getting about 800 FPS when we're looking up in the sky, which is pretty insane. Now looking down, we're getting about like 300, 400 FPS. Now, I haven't done any tweaks to it or overclocking or anything, so this is like just bare minimum, like, you know, raw performance, as you can see, which is pretty cool. And right now you can see we're getting about 240, 250 FPS. This is again performance mode. But one thing to make sure inside this is that my PC currently isn't like fully, like, you know, ready for like a 5060, because, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like an old kind of PC. So if you are going to be using like an optimized CPU and, like, you know, optimize everything like a good motherboard and everything, like you have a custom built PC or like a good pre-built, then this will actually be really good, and you'll, like, you know, you'll get like around like maybe 50 to 75 more FPS than what I'm getting right now in this test. So probably like good stable 240s maybe. And honestly, if you're not one of those competitive people, you can actually use the frame gen feature, which is like, you know, really good for this sort of like, you know, performance with a budget 5050.
Meanwhile,
Alright, it's almost endgame and we're actually pulling like really good FPS, as you can see. 94. And you know, we're averaging like about 250, 225, which is really good for this type of like 50-50. Is he hacking? Okay. I don't know what he was doing. Overall, really enjoying the performance right now. I'll just keep running. And now it is the 1v1, and that's how we end the 1v1. As you can see, pretty nice input latency and everything. Like, this card is the best if you are like, you know, entry level gaming and you want to try out competitive titles. I think that this card is actually really awesome. And in Fortnite, where you actually have to get a lot of high FPS, well, actually we're getting really good FPS in here. And honestly, I recommend this year's 50 series graphic card. Now enough with performance mode. Now let's actually see our gameplay in DX12. Let's hit it. Alright, so we've loaded into our battle bus, as you can see, and looking up in the sky, we're only pulling about 70 frames, which is kind of crazy. And as you can see, our quality is really good, really sharp, really crystal clear. But let's now land and let's actually like, but honestly, like, look, the reflection and everything, they look really good. Like, if Fortnite, like, you know, adds the multi-frame rendering, like the frame generation that they talked about, it will be huge for this game. So with that being said, with this performance right now, let's actually move on over to DLSS and turn that on, and let's see with quality mode on, let's see how it looks like with ray tracing and everything. So right over here, we basically, I think, just halved our input delay, and we're getting about 60 FPS, which is really good at this rate. And it looks pretty clear. Like, okay, there's like the Fortnite event going on, and you can probably pop this on. As you can see, it looks pretty crystal clear. Let's now turn this over to like performance, and with performance we got 10 boosted FPS. Pretty cool.
12 seconds later.
I died. But anyways, we gotta see our performance on DX12. And now with DX11, honestly, it's not even like a question. It's not even gonna be that great, because DX11 is just way worse than DX12. It's gonna be laggy, it's gonna be not that great of an experience. So my thoughts for this game specifically, Nvidia hasn't posted the multi-frame generation like their latest one, the X3 and X4, for this game. They only use DLSS. Now once they launch it for this game, you're basically set. You're going to be using the highest ray tracing qualities, and you're going to be pulling over 250 FPS, which is going to be really fantastic for this type of budget GPU. Alright, now let's move on over to Rivals. And now we're going to be testing out the performance on Rivals. So let's hit it and let's see. So we'll be checking out and seeing what our settings are currently. And as you can see right over here, we are currently on DLSS, and we're gonna put this on the 4x, which is the newest frame generation mode. And we're gonna put this on native quality, and we're gonna put everything to ultra settings, and like, I mean everything to ultra settings. Okay, so right now this is how it feels like. Honestly, it's not that bad with the frame generation. Like, it feels really good. I can feel like a little delay because of the frame generation, but I think it will get better over time. So honestly, graphics are pretty insane, and we're getting like around 165 FPS like my monitor's refresh rate, so pretty awesome. I'm probably dead. Yeah, I'm dead. Yep, I'm dead. Alright, now let's go to the lowest setting possible. So let's turn off DLSS frame generation. Let's put on low latency. Let's set this everything to low. Alright, just like this. Let's apply and let's see the maximum FPS that we can get. Let's set this to performance too. Alright, now it's performance and the max FPS we're getting is about 160. So that is like about the same FPS that we were getting with frame generation. So I guess if we turn on frame generation, I don't know what's gonna happen. But I actually feel a lot more responsive now. Like you can actually feel the game and actually like shoot where you're aiming type thing. Like I can actually hit my shots now. Even though I'm not even that great, but still I can hit my shots. Alright, that's triple headshot. I'm dead. Okay. So that was pretty cool. Now we'll turn on frame generation on the lowest setting and let's see how it performs. So let's turn on the frame generation to 4 times on the lowest settings possible and let's see. Alright, so we're pulling like above 300, like almost 400 FPS. Wow, that is actually cool. Still using 100% of the GPU. I wish actually Fortnite used 100% of the GPU so that we actually get like more FPS than needed. But it still looks good with the lowest settings. It's still really good and it feels quite nice too. Yeah, it feels really smooth still with the frame generation. I think I am on 4 times. Yeah, I'm on 4 times and it still feels very responsive. I think we're on like 8 milliseconds of delay, and if we turn off, then we're on 5, 6, 4. So this is like real raw performance from the 5050 and still pulling above 160 FPS is kind of insane on the lowest settings possible. Alright, that is it for the gaming test, and honestly this card actually blew my mind. Because of its background with the 3050 and the 4050, I thought that this card was actually going to be pretty trash like the previous gens, but actually it blew my mind. This is because in Fortnite we actually got like above 200 FPS, and with good spec hardware and overclocking and all that good stuff, you can actually get around 300 FPS or like capped stable 240 FPS on performance mode, which is pretty awesome. Now in Rivals, it actually performed really well. For the raw FPS on the lowest settings, we actually got 165 minimum, which is pretty good, and if you turn on the frame gen, then you get almost close to 400, which is pretty insane. Now enough with the gaming test, now let's head on over to Premiere Pro and let's export a 4K video and then compare with my laptop. Let's hit it.
Alright, and now let's do the benchmarking test with the 5050 versus my laptop 4060. Now the 5050 is supposed to be 11% faster than a laptop 4060, so let's see if that is actually true, and click export. So both are exporting right now, and as you can see, the 5050 is currently beating the 4060 laptop by about 10 seconds, but we'll check back later. So as you can see right now, both are being utilized at about like 100%. As you can see, the 5050 is right now at 85% utilization, and the 4060 laptop is at 69%.
Alright, so the 5050 did beat my 4060 laptop by like about 19 seconds, and despite the PC having like a 12 gen i7 and the laptop having a 14 gen i9, it is actually really good performance to see from the 5050. So that is wraps for this RTX 5050, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, also sub down below. And honestly, this budget GPU actually blew my mind because of the past generations with the 4050, 3050. They were all pretty trash, But with this, and we did a performance test, it was pretty awesome with the lowest possible settings. I know, yeah, if you go up a bit with like medium, high, and epic settings, then this will struggle, and then you have to go in the other lineups like the 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, but it all depends on your budget as well. So I think this is a pretty good budget card, despite only having 8 gigabytes of VRAM, but it is what it is type of thing. Now, of course, you can spend like $30, $40 more and upgrade for the 5060 or even more with the 5060 Ti. And on that note, I'll actually be buying a 5060 Ti with the 16 gigabyte version, and I'll be doing like a review like always, as well as like an unboxing, installation inside of this, and also testing out its performance in some games. And this time, instead of sticking to only Fortnite and Rivals, we'll be actually testing out some more game performance as well. So be sure to turn on those post notifications so that you'll be the first ones to get notified. And honestly, if you're going to be using the new multi-frame gen feature, then this card is the best because you can actually get like over 400 FPS in Marvel Rivals, which is pretty insane on the lowest settings. And despite having that high frame rate, I thought we will be having a lot of latency, but honestly, I didn't feel any of that when we switched over to the lowest settings. Now, of course, when you switch over to the highest graphics, then yes, you will feel the latency issues. But other than that, you are perfectly fine. And if you want to check out this desktop right over here, I have a playlist right up over here, and you can check that out, all the information about this, as well as my laptop that we compared. Here's another playlist over here, and you can check that out as well. And I'll also be leaving the product link down in the description box below for this MSI Shadow 2X RTX 5050. So be sure to check that out as well. And as always, make sure to hit that like button, also sub down below, and turn on those post notifications. So, see you guys next time with another banger video.